What's up, everybody? Stomach35 here, back at it again with a new pickups video. It's been a little bit since my last pickups video. I haven't really been picking up a ton of games or anything right now at this particular moment, but I do have a couple little things that I wanted to show you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and dive right into it. Okay, so this first pickup actually isn't even a video game. However, due to the nature of some of the games that are going to appear later on in this pickup video, this thing I'm about to show you guys that I got is going to come in very handy at some point in the future for that. And the first pickup I wanted to show you guys is this. It's actually a book. And this is the book here. Genki or Genkai. Learning how to read and speak Japanese and things like that. So I don't know if I've said this before on the channel, but like I've been wanting to learn to at least read. I've been wanting to learn to at least be able to like look at Japanese and be able to at least read it for quite a while personally. So, but the cool thing about this book, it'll help you read it, speak it, and write it and everything like that, which is a really cool bonus. Actually, like I said, I just want to at least be able to read it, but being able to learn how to write it and stuff like that, you know, that's a bonus. That can't hurt to learn that as well. I actually got this book back in January. I've had this ever since January, and like I said, it's just like a book that it's just a book that pretty much teaches you how to you know, just teaches you how to learn Japanese and stuff like that. And preface. And pause if you can read it. I'm trying to like get everything just in case you ever wanted to read it. But yeah, I was doing some research on what, you know, was a good way to a good method to learn how to. Well, I've been doing research on what would be a good way, you know, the best method to learn about learning how to read Japanese and just learn Japanese and things like that, and a lot of things that I came across pointed out this book, specifically this version. I say is like one of the best books out there if you wanted to really like sit down and learn Japanese. So I'm like, you know what, time to cop. And you know, trying to get everything in the frame in case anyone ever wanted to pause it and read it or anything. And then comes like some extra stuff you can like download on your phone to like, you know, learn the audio of how to say or pronounce things or something like that. But yeah, like I said before, I've been wanting to learn to read Japanese for a while, because you know there's a lot of like, you know, just mainly for like Japanese only games and stuff. You know, there's a lot of like Japanese only games, and yeah, they do get fan translations and stuff. There's like, you know, some real obscure ones out there that either don't get fan translations or just take forever to get translated or everything. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just learn to read the freaking language in general. Plus, you know, it'd be cool to learn another language, because I only really know is English. That's pretty much it. And if sometimes I feel like I can barely even speak English sometimes. But yeah, like I said, I like to look up, you know, this stuff about video games and just find like all these really cool obscure Japanese games and stuff like that, you know, like I say, either don't get fan translations or takes long to get them. And then people, and I always see people on the internet, and whenever someone, you know, finds like these, you know, obscure Japanese only games, and then you know, someone is talking about them, because like I said, I like to watch videos about those too, and people, you know, upload videos talking about these games, these Japanese only games, and I see so many people in the comments saying, oh man, I hope there's a fan translation, or I wish there was a fan translation. It's like, man, I would really like to play this game, but the language barrier is so like high because it's in a completely different language and stuff, so I feel like they can't play it or whatever because, you know, the language barrier is so high. And I'm just like, I've always sat there and thought to myself, whenever, you know, I see people say that, or I think that myself, because there's been some Japanese only games where I look at them and I'm like, man, I really wish I could play this, but yeah, it is like, I have no idea how to, you know, what the game is even saying, so it would like be impossible to play, because, you know, some Japanese only games have this like, you know, a lot of text. So if you can't speak it or read it, then you're gonna have a hard time. So whenever I see people, you know, mention or complain about how, you know, they can't play a certain game because of the language barrier, I always think to myself, you know what? That's not going to be me anymore. I'm actually going to do something about that. Instead of sitting here complaining about how I can't play this one, you know, this type of game or whatever that looks pretty cool because of the language barrier, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna learn to read Japanese. Freak that. Freak waiting and praying and hoping for fan translations and stuff. I'm gonna just get in there myself. I'm gonna learn the dang language myself, and I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna just freaking. I don't even need the fan translator. I can just go in there and read it and, you know, play the game myself without having to worry about it and stuff like that. Because that's the way I see it. I'm like, you know what? The time and the time it takes you to wait or hope for a seemingly random Japanese game to get a fan translation. Like I said, they do get fan translations. You know, a lot of Japanese games lately have been getting a whole bunch of fan translations. I've been seeing stuff about that, but you know, there's just some like just real obscure like games out there that either won't get a translation for like a really long time, or they're just so obscure it's just like you're going to be waiting an insanely long time if ever, you know, it gets translated. You can't, you know, translate every freaking Japanese only game. So I'm like, yeah, the amount of time, the way I see it is the amount of time it takes you sitting there waiting and hoping and praying for a fan translation of some game to come out. You can just like spend time sitting down learning learning how to read the language itself, and that way you won't even have to worry about a translation. You just like boot the game up, like, yeah, I can figure it out myself, and you know, you can just go get the game and sit down and play it then and there, and just, you know, figure it out yourself. Now I know it's gonna be way easier said than done, because even when I was researching, like I said, I've been researching this not even recently, for a few years. I've been researching wanting to learn to play or wanting to learn Japanese, and even in my research I've seen people say that Japanese is not an easy language to learn. It's one of the most, it's one of, if not the most difficult language to learn. So yeah, sitting down and saying, yeah, just learn to read Japanese, that is going to be easier said than done. I mean, learning a different language can be difficult in general, but yeah, it's just the way Japanese is. I see, and like I've read through some of this book already. Like I'm not that far into it. I'm really taking it you know, slow, just trying to get into it, because this is a thick book. Like, look at all that. That's a whole lot of this learning and studying in here. But I've just been taking it slow and learning and stuff like that. And yeah, this is definitely one. I can see why, like the way the language is and stuff, I can see why it's such a difficult language to learn, because it is a bit strange when you first look at it, because there's three different syllables, or three different like little typefaces or whatever for Japanese. There's hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And like, you know, this is just a hiragana. Like all these right here is just hiragana. This is what I'm currently on, because it's like the first thing is this. That's just the basic hiragana. Then you gotta take into account hiragana that has these little marks next to them. I don't know if you can see them, like these little marks next to them, and that will change the meaning of that symbol. So, you know, like without the mark, that's what it is. That's what that symbol is. And then with the mark, that's what it is. So you got to take into account all of that. That's it. That's just the hiragana. It's just that. Then there's the katakana, which is the same. Actually, well, yeah, there's also this stuff right here too, which is all freaking this. And then there's some rules about doing double consonants and when you're supposed to do them, and then, you know, how long you're supposed to say a certain, you know, the consonants, you know, depending on how long you pronounce a certain consonants or whatever, and certain words will change the definition or change the meaning of that word. And then here's the katakana. That's the freaking katakana. That's the katakana with the diacritical marks. I think that's what they call them. Yeah, diacritical marks. And then that's not it. Remember, there's also the kanji too. Here's the freaking kanji. I'm sure there's more kanji than what they're showing you right here. So yeah, when I was looking through this, going through this book and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I can already kind of see why learning Japanese is kind of crazy. This is nuts. You gotta know all of this and everything. So I'm like, yeah, this yeah, it's gonna be crazy. This is going to be crazy, but I really do want to learn it. Like, I really do want to sit down and actually, like, really do try to learn it. I've learned a little bit of the hiragana, still, you know, in the process of learning it, but if they do say it takes a number of years to get, you know, at least decently proficient with it. So, like I said, and the time you spend waiting and hoping for fan translations of different Japanese games and stuff, you can spend that time waiting, learning to read the language yourself, and then you can just like freaking just level up the IQ, level up the intellect, and just be like, man, I don't even need a fan translation no more. I can just go in and just read the damn thing myself and play it. Like, I was thinking about it the other day when I was reading. I don't really read manga too much myself personally. I just haven't gotten into it. But think about it, you know, they always have that thing where it's like the people that watch the anime, then the people that read the manga. Now imagine the person that is ahead of the both of them. They read the untranslated Japanese version of the manga. Power, absolute raw power. But yeah, this is definitely going to come in handy. And also, this notebook paper I put back here. Get this out just really quick just to show it, because this is just where I wrote some stuff down. These are just my notes right here that I wrote down for, you know, when I was starting out. I'll just show this real quick, and then, you know, this is where I wrote, you know, the hiragana and stuff, and the little rules for it, things like that. I hope you're paying attention to these notes, by the way, everybody, because it's going to be on the surprise test at the end of the video here. So y'all better be paying attention here. Yeah, that's just a couple of things I wrote down. I got a whole bunch of other like blank paper and stuff that I wrote notes on and all that. That's definitely my first, you know, pickup of this video. Is definitely this behemoth of a thing right here. It's gonna take a long time, but you know what? I'm not even worried about it. It's a little bit daunting, yes, but you know, I just wanted to do it. You know, like I said, instead of just like sitting there waiting and relying on other people to hopefully do translations of games and stuff, I'm like, dude, forget that. I want to be able to just get in there and read it myself. So yeah, I don't want to be that person that sits and waits for people to, you know, just translate something, where I just want to be able to read it myself. And I have picked up a couple other, like, you know, Japanese games that I would love to read and stuff like that. All right, so with that out of the way, now it's time for the actual video games of the pickups video, and it's import season, boys. I got a couple of games that actually are imports. So like I said, it ties into you know, that book that I got earlier this month, or well, earlier this year in January. And that first import game is Goemon Mystical Ninja Best Of, or Konami the best, but it's Mystical Ninja Goemon. I can't remember what the name of this game was, and I can't really read that right now, but I'm working on it. I'm working on being able to read that eventually. Basically, this is a Goemon game, or Mystical Ninja Goemon. If you guys have ever heard of this game before or anything like that, you got Goemon, Ebisumaru, Yasuke, Yasuke, and Yai. This game is basically like a greatest hits of Goemon, or like a highlight reel kind of thing, something like that. It's like it's not really like a compilation or anything like that, but it's like it's like a collection of just all like the different, you know, greatest highlight moments of the Goemon games, stuff like that. You know, it is one, you know, singular game with different levels and stuff like that, but when you play through the levels and anything, it was kind of just like, you know, a lot of the good parts, you know, throughout the Goemon franchise up to this point, just wrapped up into one little game here. I've been aware of Goemon ever since back in, like, it's been a while. It's been some years at this point. It's been a while, but I've been aware of Goemon ever since my friend that had he had the N64. So whenever I went over to his house back in the day, we played the N64, and one of the games he had at some point that we wound up playing was I think it was Goemon's Great Adventure for the N64. I think that was it. It was the 2.5D one. Because there's two Goemon games on the N64. There's Goemon's Great Adventure, and then there's some other one that I haven't played that one, but I don't think it's the 2.5D one. The one that we played was 2.5D because you could play that one in co-op, so that was a lot of fun to play in co-op with that one. Now that was the first time whenever I played that game at his house. That was the first time I'd ever seen or heard of anything about Goemon. I was not aware of it before, so after I played that at his house, I'm like, hey, that Goemon game was pretty fun. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the one I was thinking of. It's I'll have to look up a picture of it to be sure. I'll probably throw the image of the one I'm talking about in the video when I'm editing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the one I'm talking about. So I found out about this game on YouTube from a channel called Import Gaming for the Win, and that guy, he likes Goemon a whole lot. So he's done videos talking about he's done a lot of videos talking about Goemon, and I saw this game he talked about on there. I thought this game looked pretty cool, and I was wanting another Goemon game to have, so I thought it'd be pretty sweet to have another Goemon game. So I bought this one. This looks cool. Got some lights. I don't know if you can really tell with this camera and this black disc, but it's got really light scratches. It's not like terrible or anything, so I hope this should be fine. And then you get like that giant robot you can control and fight in called Impact. I think this manual is like, yeah, this manual like opens them the other way, I think, right? Little henchman thing. Yeah, Goemon's pretty cool. Yeah, there's Impact right there. But yeah, Goemon's pretty cool. Like I said, I've only ever played the N64 Goemon's Great Adventure game, but like I liked it. I liked it pretty much good after that. I liked all the characters and gameplay and stuff was fun. So I'm not like a huge Goemon fan because I haven't really gotten that into it. But like I'm willing to seek out some more Goemon stuff. Like there is one other Goemon thing that I got because I played 64 that I'll show here in a second that I've had for some years at this point. Can't read or look at this, but that will change one day. I don't know how freaking long it's gonna take me, but I will be able to read this one of these days without having to translate it. And there's the characters in there, like their different powers and stuff. She can turn into like a mermaid. And Sasuke, he can turn into like a propeller thing. I think he's a robot. I don't think he's human. I think he's a robot or something. She had that power in Goemon the Great Adventure. I remember there was levels you play as her. She was like a mermaid. There's Goemon himself with his chain pipe thing you can throw. Yeah, they have a lot of their same moves from Goemon's Great Adventure. This is also I don't think this one is 2.5D from what I remember with the gameplay lights. It's 2D, but like pre-rendered sprites and stuff. It looks really cool. So I'm like, this looks like one of like the better Goemon games on the PS1. So I was like, I want to play another Goemon game, so I decided I wanted to get this one. Again, then this one thing I wanted to show off really quick. Now, before I had bought this Goemon game here, the only other like Goemon related thing that I've had for like the longest time was this right here. This is this DVD set of The Legend of the Mystical Ninja Goemon. It's a anime. It's an animated series of Goemon the Mystical Ninja. It has like 5 volumes. Turn this sideways. Volume 1, complete collection, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't remember like where I bought this at. I've had this for like, I don't remember where or when I bought it. I've had this for like years. I've had this for a really long time. Like I said, after I had played Goemon Goemon's Great Adventure on the N64 at my friend's house. I'm like, this Goemon thing is really cool. Then I don't remember where or when anymore, so I've had this for so long, but I saw this at a store somewhere like a long time ago, and I really wanted to get it because I like Goemon a lot. You know, after that one game I played, so I wound up getting this. Okay, so this next game I got is one I've known about for a while and I've been looking for a while, and I finally have it, and that is another, like I said, it's import season today, but it's Gamera 2000. This is like a on-rails shmup, shoot 'em up type of game. It looks really cool from what gameplay of it I've seen. Trying to like show this without glare on the thing. Case is a little dark, so I have no clue if this is showing up without the glare. If there is glare, I'm sorry. It has live action FMV cutscenes in it too, which is pretty cool. Always enjoy when the PS1 game has those. And that's the disc for it, in the back of the manual. I checked this one out earlier. Once again, I don't think you'll be able to like see it because of the glare, or whatever. This disc is a little bit scuffed. Unfortunately, it does. I don't know if you can be able to see it has like a little ring around the thing of it right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but the disc on this one does look a little bit rough. But whenever I get around to finally play testing it, hopefully it's not too bad, and hopefully it'll still play well and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, maybe right there. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's a bit scuffed around like the whole ring, right there. It's a little bit scuffed, so hopefully it'll play all right whenever I get around to playing. I definitely got to test this one. I mean, I like to test all my games out, but this one I definitely got to be sure that it works. But yeah, it's got live action FMV cutscenes in, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's a on-rail shmup type of game. It just looks really fun from when I looked up gameplay about this game when I found out about it, and it wasn't like overly expensive or anything. So I'm like, you know what? I want to play this game. It looks fun. You control like a ship in some levels, and in other levels you're on like a bike going through a forest. That's another one I saw in the gameplay. Yeah, this game looks cool, so happy I finally have it. Now I just gotta test it out, make sure it works and all that stuff. That's another thing I gotta do, is like finally get around to making it where I can play import games. I have a few other like import. I have at least one import Japanese PS2 game. I've shown that off before on one of my pickups. And I have a couple other like Japanese PS1 games. So I need to that's something I've been wanting to do in the future, is getting my stuff set up to where I can finally play these games. Like I want to get a PS2 and make it where I can just play any region games on it. That's like a little thing I've been wanting to get around to doing at some point in the future. Just gotta get everything set up for it. So I want to do that one of these days, and I can actually finally play these games instead of just being able to sit here and just look at them on those freaking things. But on to the next and final game. Yeah, this isn't a huge pickups video. It's just it's a little, like I said, I haven't been picking up a ton of games or anything like that. Just some little stuff here and there for right now. Yeah, onto the last game onto the last game of the video. All right, and the last and final game of this pickups video is this game right here. You ever know, if you know what this is, or by the cover or whatever, it's called Slitterhead. This actually, despite the Japanese on the front of it, which from the looks of it, I believe that is yellow, so it looks like kanji. I don't know what any of that says, how to translate that yet, but it looks like it's kanji. But yeah, this actually, despite that on the cover, this actually isn't an import game. This is like the only game in this pickups video that's not an import. This is an American, version of the game, but it's the game Slitterhead for the PS5. I didn't know about this game too much at first. I watched a guy live stream this game a while back, and it looked kind of cool and stuff. I'm like, you know what? I wasn't too sure about this game, but I watched the live stream. I thought it looked pretty cool, so I was like, you know, I think I might try this game out. It looks like it might be good. This game is actually made, or it's directed by the guy. It's directed by the guy that created Silent Hill. Like the Silent Hill creator directed this. I hope I'm saying his name right. Kiichiro Toyama. I think that's it. Kiichiro Toyama. I hope I said that man's name right. I'm not trying to disrespect the creator of freaking Silent Hill here, but yeah, you know, despite the fact that the guy that created Silent Hill directed this, I don't see too many people talking about this game like that. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not looking in the right place or whatever. It's like, and I really don't see people just like really talking about this game a whole lot, to the degree considering it's made by the guy that made freaking Silent Hill. So that's the amount. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not looking in the right places or whatever. But you know, I can actually read the back of this one for you guys. Here, there's nothing to translate. I can at least read English sometimes. I must eliminate them all. Hunt down the brain-devouring slitterheads lurking in the alleys of this neon-lit city. Battle across the dense and cluttered streets of Kowloon as Hyoki, and an entity devoid of memory and physical form. Hyoki is driven by one thing alone: a desire to eradicate the monsters known as slitterheads. Yeah, from what I've seen about this game, apparently, like, it's early on, so it's not like a spoiler or anything, but I think your character ends up dying at the very beginning of the game, and then like he becomes a spirit, and then from that point as a spirit you can like roam around the streets and take over people's bodies. You can gain control of those people, and you can use them to like fight the slitterheads and stuff. It's pretty crazy. From what the gameplay I've seen from that live stream, this game looks pretty crazy. Expose the demons nesting in the pleasure district. Slitterheads thrive in obscurity and chaos. Possess humans in high-speed action. Hyoki controls human bodies at will through possession. Yeah, see, so you can like possess different people and they can fight and stuff like that. Use the power of blood in thrilling combat. Human blood can be transformed into a variety of weapons. Yeah, the combat in the system looks pretty interesting. And since this is sealed, I haven't like opened this yet since I got it. I'll just wait to open it when I actually get around to playing it. But this is the day one edition, as you can see. But since I haven't opened it yet, I don't feel like opening it right now. I'll show you guys the back of what this day one edition is to include. It comes with the Slitterhead game for PS5, day one exclusive outer box, which is this, of course, 104-page full color art book with commentary by creator Kiichiro Toyama. I like how it comes with an actual like physical art book. Some games will do it where like it'll be a freaking digital art book or something like that. I hate that. I always like when it's an actual like art book I can hold. Original soundtrack CD. Once again, I like when games come with an actual like physical soundtrack CD. Instead of just a download code, and a sticker sheet with game artwork. And then you can see right here the picture of what the stuff looks like. So that's pretty much my pickups for this month. I got a couple import games. That one's not an import, like I said. It's like a survival horror game. That one is an import, and some educational material. that's a bit of a daunting one. That's a thick boy right there. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna get down into this and learn to read Japanese, and eventually messing with this will be able to let me play games like this and whatever other import games I want to get in the future. Make playing those a little bit easier and stuff. So yeah, that's the goal for that. Hope you guys enjoyed my pickups video for this month. I'm Slim35 and I'm out. Please don't forget to leave a like on the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Peace.